Hello and welcome back to After Effects. In this video, I'm going to use the Puppet Pin tool to create a puppet out of a single image. So I'm not dividing it into different parts, but just imported in an image. It has an alpha channel, so it's a clear background, and I'm going to use the Puppet Pin tool to animate it. So I have this image I've already imported. I'm just going to drag it down onto the composition button to turn it into a composition. So it's a silhouette. The background is should be transparent. So what you're seeing, the background color here, if I even go into, I'll show you, if I go into composition and composition settings and change the background color to a different color, you're going to see the figure, the kind of silhouette figure over the background without any other kind of color. You can prepare this in Photoshop, or this is a PNG file I found online that already had that alpha channel, that transparency built into it. Now, the Puppet Pin tool works by basically building a structure in your image so you can move parts of it by dragging them around. Now, it works great when maybe like for the head and the body here, but maybe not for these legs because these legs are joined together, so I'm not going to be able to pull them apart with the Puppet Pin tool. So this is going to be good to make this character maybe lean forward and back, kind of things like that with the Puppet Pin tool. So it's not a perfect tool for doing everything you want to do with a puppet, but it'll allow you to do quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I just have my layer here, and I'm going to look for the Puppet Pin tool up in my tools bar up here. So here's my tools bar, and here's the Puppet Pin tool. It looks like a push pin, so I'm going to click on that. Now what I'm going to do is click several spots in my puppet just to kind of places where I might want to, so like it's kind of like building a skeleton, one on the head, maybe one on the neck, maybe one on the back shoulder, maybe a couple down here at the bottom just to root this so it doesn't move around. So basically things you want to move and things you want to keep still should have a pin in them, kind of like a skeleton. So what I'm going to do is click on the head and make a pin, and then I'm going to click on the shoulders to make another pin. Maybe I'll do one kind of on the back here, and then a couple maybe on the coat because I want to keep those points kind of where they are all throughout it. I'll just be kind of bending my character, his head back and forth a little bit, maybe a little with the shoulder too. So I've made these points. Now when you make them, you'll notice right away that in your layer, suddenly what After Effects has done is it has made puppet points for the points that you made. Let me just, if I click on the layer and hit the U key, which brings up all keyframed states or keyframed items, notice that it's made a little keyframe for every puppet pin I made. And so they're all there with a keyframe at the beginning. So I'm going to go maybe a second forward into this, and I want to get these puppet points, so you can even click on one of them and get them all. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of play with these a little bit like silly putty. Notice I'm going to move the head over a little bit, maybe the back even further, move the head down. I want to try to keep a sense of volume here, and I can even kind of move this back one here. I'm going to keep these ones kind of set in their certain space here. So I'm going to move the head down like that, so you can see it's going to animate to move down. Now maybe I want to move it back up a little bit. Move my shoulder. I'm going to move my shoulder a little forward as my head moves back, like that. And then, so notice every time you moved a pin, it makes a new keyframe for it in that layer. Maybe move it a little bit, move the back a little bit. And so you're going to see now my head, I'm just going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to press the space bar to play it. So my head's moving around basically from those puppet points that I made. So my character is just kind of like stretching out a little bit, stretching down. If I want to, basically if I want it to hold position for a while, I might want to hold some of these keyframes. If I want to hold in these positions, I'm going to copy these keyframes here, Control C and then Control V. I have to do it one at a time, and that should keep it holding in place at that second keyframe. Control C, Control V. It's Command, of course, if you're on a PC, so it's going to move down here, hold, and then move back up. If I want it to hold in this position for a while, I'm going to take these two keyframes, Controller Command C and Controller Command V. So I'm copying them from here, pasting them there to create some hold on that position. Faster movement. Okay, looks better to me how we have little bits of movement. And even these first ones, I'm going to move this out of the way so I can see it. I'm just going to click all of these, draw a box around them, and just move them all over so my character hesitates for a while before moving and then does his move. So I kind of like that bit of animation that I made with the puppet pin tool, just adding some puppet points to a pre-existing drawing. So have some fun with the puppet pin tool to make some animation in After Effects.